Okay guys, so here it is. This is the Wizard's Tower. As you can see, there are a huge amount of sheets involved in this, and I will say right now that without a shadow of a doubt, this is the most complicated building that we have ever done. And as such, if you've got a bunch of battle systems, terrain, and you are, going to start putting some together, I would say do not start with this particular one. Okay, like I say, it's by far the most complicated, but also probably by far one of the most impressive buildings that we've done as well. So there's quite a few sheets on here. You've got a couple of sheet one here. Okay, and then you've got just one of these here with the top part on it. There's a couple pieces with the roofs on, and then you've got a single piece with a giant floor, and you've got another piece here which has got all sorts of bits of extra pieces and bits and bobs on it, and more bits and bobs, and then like a ruined bridge part. It's absolutely, it's a crazy set. So and it really does build this big impressive tower. Now it's so big I've had to adjust my camera, and I still can't, on my long shot I still can't get the whole building in properly. But here you go, look, here is a Wizard's Tower. Yeah, very impressive big building with a kind of a really cool roof bit you probably can't see going off the top there, and it comes with this ruined bridge part over here as well. So yeah, it's a big old set, so prepare yourself for the complexities of this particular build. What we're going to do first of all is we're going to start by building the base tower, okay, and we're just going to work our way up through the building until we get to the roof, and then we'll build that extra little ruined staircase bit off to the side. So here we go. I'm going to start by popping out some parts here for the base. Okay, so here's everything. Well, I think this is everything we need. We've got the two tower parts at the bottom, your big feety bits that stick out. You've got a couple of floors, and then we have got, it's possible we're not going to use this one straight away. We've got the top of the tower, and then we've got a little kind of parapet bit that sticks out with its floor, and 6 of these struts, of which one of them, at least one of them, here is a little bit different because it's got like a hook on it. Okay, and we're going to angle this on one particular side. So I'm going to move some of this out of the way just for room, to be fair, to start. And what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to pop out these little holes here, and I'm going to bend these walls through. Okay, so I've bent a load of sections through here. Everything that I had on the table that I popped out, and you'll notice that these two walls are exactly the same, and they've got 2 little slots either side of the door. Just punch out the slots on one side and leave them in for the other side, as they won't be used. I mean, it doesn't matter if they fall out, you really can't see them that well, but I thought I'd mention it. And so focusing on the side that's got these 2 little holes first, this will be the entrance. This one will end up being blocked up. We're going to stand this up like this, and what we're going to do, we're going to want to position our feet around the front of this. And in order to do that, what we're going to want is, we're going to want, with these here, with these like feet part, you're going to see that they've got a short area here, and they've got a long area here. Just check that that's on camera. Yep. Okay, so you've got a long area, and you've got a short area, long area and a short area, and you're going to want to make sure that the long area is going to travel across this side, and you find one where the long area is on that side, and you are then going to slot these into the bottom of here, like so. And as you put those in, you'll see that there's a bit of gap in at the moment, but it kind of brings your tower around, and that will close up as you kind of put your top part of your tower on. Okay, but I'm just going to put those feet on there for now. And while I'm at it, just to get rid of the other ones, I'm going to put these ones on the other side. Okay, so there you have it. I'm going to move this one off to one side for a moment and just focus on this one just here. Okay, now this is going to be the entrance. So if I pull across this one, you'll see this is going to be where you'd come across the bridge, come through this door, you'll have the table, the mirror, and all this stuff. So we're going to want to make sure the floors go in this side, and we don't need to put this on yet, but we are going to put this floor in here. And so that is this one, and that needs to be pushed in to this way here. It's got a little slot either side. Now there is a bookcase which also goes in here, and it assembles just like an ordinary bookcase. There's a couple of little bits at the bottom that are a little bit different, and you need to kind of slot that in first before this floor goes in if you're going to use the inside. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to quickly do that. Okay, so I've got my little bookcase here. If you watch the dedicated scatter terrain video, it's exactly the same. It's got a back, two sides, and it just slots in across like here. The difference is it's got these extra little tabs at the bottom there, and we're going to they're actually what's going to slot into this area of your floor here. So I'm going to pop that in there so that your bookcase is actually held in place. Now, there's a load of books here, and actually this set comes with a massive amount of books that you can put in piles and stuff, and I'll show you that later on. Now, with like I say, if you look at that dedicated scattered terrain video, I recommend that all these books are, you pick a couple of shelves and you arrange stuff on them, and you just glue them in place, and they will look really, really cool. And again, I'll just show you on this one. We've got little piles of books that I've glued to the floor here, and I've got some little counters and all these books have been glued on, and I've glued on all the little books onto the shelves there, so it looks really, really cool, and nothing gets kind of scattered around, as it were. Okay, for ease I'm not going to glue those on now because I'm just showing you the basic construction, but you'll see it in that dedicated scatter video. Okay, so yeah, once I've got that on, I think I'm quite happy to be able to pop this floor into the bottom of here. Okay, and there's my floor. Don't worry about this here. We're going to put some supports in here, and there's a beam that goes up here. Okay, the next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to put this next floor in above. And again, with this, before you assemble it, there's a really nice little bookcase that requires, a really nice little desk here, and it requires you to actually to slot this in just prior to pushing that in. So I'm going to grab the parts of that and put that together for you. Okay, and here's the parts of the desk, and you'll notice on here there's two different sizes of shelves. And because the sides of this sort of taper up, the smaller shelf goes on top and the larger one at the bottom, as it were. So here's your main desktop shape, and we are going to slide these two side bits in here. Okay, leaving two little slots here, and that's what's actually going to go into the floor. There we go, small shelf on top, larger one at the bottom. And this has got a couple of half bends in it. And this candle piece just slides onto the top of the desk. And then this piece is just going to tuck in out of the way from our floor, as it were. It's going to kind of hide around the corner, so you can just leave this tucked in. I'm going to grab my floor, pop out this little key part. Okay, get the trapdoor working. Okay, so I'm now going to take the two slots next to here, and I'm going to slot this in. And actually, in hindsight, it's probably better to put that on first, and then basically take this piece and then slot it in. That'll work a lot easier than what I just did. Okay, so you have that just here. All these other slots are accessible from the outside, so what we'll do is we'll then pop this floor in, and it will fit very snugly just above the bookcase. but you'll have to wiggle a couple of little tabs here to make sure it clears over the bookcase as you push it in. So we've got a tab sticking out here, both these in here, and just inside the two little feet from this, the clip parts from this desk fit between the top two shelves of that bookcase. So it's important to note, you know, about not putting necessarily gluing books on there. If you have by accident or anything like that, you can literally move a shelf around or turn the shelf upside down or something. That'd be fine. Okay, so that then gets that floor in, and now this is starting to get a little bit sturdier, which is great. So that's that part. What we're going to do next is we're going to take one of these wall pieces that we bent through, and again these are both identical, and we're going to grab our clips. Okay, so next what I'm going to do, I'm going to place this part on top of here, and I'm going to need some of these long strut things, and I'm going to make sure that I choose the one that's got the little hook in it for the front, plus the ones that have got the two little tabs at the top of there. I'm going to place this one with a hook on directly in the middle above the door, and then these two on either side. I'm not slotting it all the way down. I'm then going to line these holes up as well, these slots up as well, and I'm going to put those on, and I'm going to slowly manipulate it down, and that's going to pull your shape even tighter and make it all a lot more solid. Okay, and there you have it. That's all nicely in place. I'm just going to repeat the process with this one here. And again, the one I'm going to place in the middle out of these, there's one that's got this like double pattern here. There's kind of extra two holes here instead of one. I'm going to use that one for the middle one because I think it just looks that little more balanced. Okay, and now I've got my two tower parts, which is really nice. You can do a little test here, and what will happen is these will basically push together, and you'll see there's a little slot here at the top, and that will slot through where this door is, and it will kind of just slot together like that. Okay, that looks really cool. I'm quite happy with that. And what you might need to do, give it a little bit of a jiggle. And then I'll speak about this now while we're talking about that little slot. You'll notice on this big floor tile here that you've actually got this little blanking plate with a kind of a cool kind of magical texture on one side or completely blank. And when this is together, you can slot that in there. And it's kind of a key to stop it from kind of coming apart. When you've got something on top anyway, it kind of holds it together, but you don't want the tower splaying in any way, shape or form. So it's nice to have that little blanking plate in there. So I'll take that out, and that allows me to open it up again to get inside. Okay, so let me just grab this. Now, one thing I have forgotten to do, and I had it ready as well next to me, is to just, on this side, without all the furniture inside, is to put this little parapet up, which has got some bends in it. So we're going to fix that immediately. And what we're going to do with this, we've got a little slot above this little window here. And with this one, what I've got a half cut. So it doesn't actually push out like most things, it's a half cut, and it adds a little bit of tension on that, okay? And what's going to go in there is your floor. Now there's a little magic circle pattern on this floor here, which corresponds to a magic circle that pattern that we've got on the floor there. And that is how you are going to be kind of, you know, moving from one place to another, as it were, because there's no door to get to this balcony. Or parapet or whatever. So that's going to go in there. Now, the reason I say I forgot this is because what I need to do here is make sure that one of these clips here actually slots in there. So I'm going to make a little bit of a gap so I can pop this in, and then then there's a gap here to slot this on as well. There's also two slots on here which these two tabs on this balcony will slot into. You'll get the hang of it when you start putting it together. Okay, and there's also a little canopy bit that fits on here, but we don't need to put that on. We can do that at the end. We don't want to get in the way. And so now I really have got my two tower parts that slot together. And you know, this is kind of nice. Now what I'm going to do before I move on to the top part is I'm just going to build the bridge bit that comes out the front of here, which is this bit that comes out here, and also I'm going to pop in here a ladder that runs down the length of here, a beam, and a little bit of kind of a little dais kind of thing that you sit here that you can, you know, pop a little book on and glue a book on, a little wizard's table-y thing. Okay, so I'm going to do that now as well. Okay, so here we go. Wow, that was a long ladder to push out the little bits from. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting this little bit here, which I've got here, this little dais, and I'm going to just bend through those half cuts there. And we've also got a little one here. It's a very thin half cut on the end of here, just enough to give that a little bit of a curve up, like so. It's a very tight cut. Okay, so you can kind of rest a book on there. I guess we can pop this on first. And then slot it in here. We'll try it that way. There you go. Now this really supports that lower floor. I think I probably needed to adjust those slots a little bit. Let's pop that back on there. And there's actually a little book that you can open and close, well, for want of a better word, here, which is like an open book that goes on there. Really cool book. This is the Core Space Deluxe Rulebook, man. Okay, because you know what? These worlds are kind of linked. You'll find out eventually. So we're going to pop that on there. And this is really going to be a nice little place for your wizardy man to stand there and do his spells deep down in a protected area. Okay, so then you've got this beam here, which is going to add some support to this floor here. Probably might want to adjust those slots a little bit on the tight side, but I got them in there, that's fine. And then you've got this little mirror here, which we're going to put on here, the old magic mirror. That can go in there. So that's my little magic mirror in there as well, which is really, really cool. And I guess it's, you know, if you're going to assemble this and you like to kind of pen the edges, you know, with corresponding colours and stuff to really kind of blend everything together, then I guess you'd probably be doing that before as you go on assembly with this one. Or if you're just enjoying yourself, you can assemble it, make sure you're happy with it, and then you can take bits and pieces apart, or you can just pen the areas you can see. It's entirely up to you whether if you go down that road. So, but yeah, this is a lovely. This is all starting to feel very nice and sturdy, which is great. Oh, and I need to put this ladder in, which just pops in there, and it pushes right in until it's flush with this clip up here. And then that way you've got access to all of the floors of your Wizard's Tower, which is really, really cool. Right, so as promised, I'm going to pop this little bridge piece on here now, which is a pretty simple bit. I'm going to grab the parts of that. You'll find the ones for these ones, you'll know it's the right one for this particular tower and not the separate steps area, because it's got like an angled piece at the bottom. So I'm going to pop these off. It's also important to note that there's two pieces that look like this. Okay, the one you're going to want is labelled Wizard's Tower Bridge. You don't want the one that's labelled Ruined Tower Bridge. This one's different. It hasn't got a little tab on the end. Okay, we don't want the tab on the end on this one, but we do for the other half of this broken bridge. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these two parts. And I am going to slot them in the bottom. Now, at the front of these 2 feet, you'll notice these two shifty looking slots right there, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to slot it into here, and these two slots that we popped out earlier, it's going to fit this little tabs are going to fit snugly in the top. Once that's in place, I am then going to just slot the bridge into place, and this part here is going to rest on this little tab that's sticking out, make it nice and sturdy. So I'm going to do that right now. And when you're happy that that's nice and snug in there, pop this on. And there you go, there's your bridge at the end. You've got some half cuts there to kind of have these planks kind of half falling and semi held on by a bit of rope. And that's really, really nice. You've got a solid bridge up here, entrance to your main tower, as it were. Yeah, really love that. I think that is looking absolutely super impressive. Very, very happy. I think I've covered everything that is structurally essential in here. Like I said, there are some other bits and pieces that we'll talk about in a moment, like little bits of scatter and things. But I think structurally we have everything we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this together. I'm sure I've forgotten something, and I'll pop my little key in there, and that's your tower. And if you listen to me carefully, you will hopefully have the front where your bridge is. You've got your hook piece in here. With your two tabs, and on this side these should all be flat and level up with your parapet there. Okay, so yeah, that's really cool. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, that's superb. So I'm going to move that to one side. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on this bit here. I'm going to take this stuff out because I forgot. So this is the top part of your oh, look, there's another little core space booking. So this is the top part. This is your kind of octagonal wizardsy bit with this nice like balcony bit across one side. And that's what we're going to be building, that just sits and kind of hooks into the top. So I'm going to pop out the parts that I need for that. Okay, so here's all the parts. Really hard to get this all on camera, but we'll do it as we go. You've got the large floor part here. This actual top bit is called the sanctum, and so when you're hunting out the different bits and pieces, it will say sanctum on it next to it. Sanctum this, sanctum that. So that's a good way of hunting out the parts, because they are spread across various different sheets in order to get the tooling the way we needed it. So you've got your large floor part, which I've popped the little holes out of, and you have then got your wall sections, and you've got some railings, and you've got these little top bits here. I'm going to move these to one side because we're going to put those on kind of last. And then I'm going to move the railings away as well for the moment, because we can put those on last as well, if I remember rightly. Which leaves us with these parts here. Now, what you've got here is on your walkway, you've got two sides to it. You've got one side which will have a direct overhang. There'll be nothing there, and this side has got the little walkway on it. And you'll see that you've got these clips that look very similar, these kind of like struts. You've got some with an extra long kind of L piece at the bottom compared to these. There's three of these ones, and these are the ones that are going to need to go onto this side of your where the walkway is. Okay, these ones are then going to go on this side, and they're going to be used to both hold on to your railings that go around the edge, and also they are going to slot and hold your room together for you. And these are this is your room here, your rooms here. So you can just bend these through very quickly like this. And what we need to remember here is that the way these are assembled are that the slot here is what's going to be at the top when it's assembled together. Okay, so the slots are going to be at the top, and the short wall is going to go on this side where there is no walkway, and the longer wall is going to come round the back and then connect on here like so. Okay, that's what we need to remember. Now when you put this top part together, there is an element of kind of like putting a little bit in, clipping it down a bit, pushing it, jiggling it, until you get this to be the right shape. And then you move the clips around to get this to be the right shape. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put these bits on top, and it's going to kind of like, a bit like the tower top, it's going to kind of bring it all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just putting some of these clips, as I said, around the outside of here and the walls. So I put the clips onto the wall first, and then I'm putting each one of these in as I go around just a little bit. I'm moving it in just a little bit like that. Okay, and that's your first bit. I'm then going to do the same process with this wall. As you see and go around here, you'll find that some slots are longer than others, and that's shorter than others. That's so you don't push things in too far or too less, as it were, not enough. I've got a clip left over at the back. I'm just going to slot that on that back wall and put that into place as well. Again, just a little slot here. And once I've got that, that is more or less an octagon. So now I'm gonna jiggle it around a bit and get it into shape by just adjusting these clips. Okay, and I've got a nice octagon shape there. I'm quite happy with that. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take these parts here. I've got little half cuts in them here. So I'm going to bend those through like that. And what they're going to do is they're going to sit on the top and clip into these slots here. Where you've got these ones together, you're going to have one at the front here above the door. You're going to have one at the back here, and that holds the two wall sections where they're not connected together. And then that'll leave you two spaces at the side, and they're going to go on there. And again, a bit like the walls, you might need to jiggle about. You might need to pull the wall out a bit to get it in, and then just kind of rejiggle your octagon shape. And there you go. And actually, I didn't need to jiggle anything. I just put that in, and it just, it just went into shape. It's a bit of a stretch when you're putting this back one on, trying to clip these together. But as you lock it down in place, it all slots in really, really nicely. So yeah, I'm already happy with that, and that's already starting to look really fantastic. And now it's a lot more sturdier. And of course, you might have a little bit of gap in here. You can push these clips in to adjust for your doors, but this seems pretty cool for me. Quite happy with that. Certainly. And of course, as always, you've got windows on the insides of here as well, so you can open these windows all the way round, or have them closed, or even remove them completely if you want to cut them out and just have like a different type of effect. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these railings around the outside. So first of all, you've got one railing here, which is a bit of an odd one. It's got a clip on it here, a slot, sorry, but then it's got a half cut. But be careful you don't bend the bottom, because the half cut just goes across the very top piece. And what this is going to do, this is going to go at the front of here, and there's a very, very sort of thin, or should I say, shallow slot, and that's going to go on here. And at the same time, then we're going to kind of manipulate this little slot on here across this little tab. So and if this is a bit tight, you might want to adjust it with a little hobby knife or craft knife. There you go, that's it. Yeah, I was definitely being lazy. I didn't bother to adjust that one, but I did in the end because I bent my little tab. I bent my tab. And then, but that's all fine. And then I've got, then we've got a couple more here. You can see that this has got an angle. It's going to go at the front. It's got some half cuts at it. So I'm going to do that. I think it's just the one half cut, isn't it, before I bend this through? Yep. Okay. And same thing again. I've got a tab here for that to select on, to slip on, but I've also got to slot it into this part here. So I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to do that, and then I've got another one here with it's got to be two half cuts this time, hasn't it? I'm sure it has. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go. And basically, this is going to just straight slot into these two. And as you're slotting that in, you kind of need to tuck this length bit here. It kind of slots into there. So you want to make sure that that is, you know, going to be not too tight, so you can get that in there and slot that down at the same time. That looks okay. So I'm gonna put all of these in. Okay, yeah, and I'm very happy with that. I just had a little jiggle around, move the walls again a little bit just to get it all to line up, and push some more clips in over here. And then I moved this little tab around here so that it just, because it was sticking out here, so the half cuts, I just bent it back a little bit so it kind of looks like it carries on into this wall a little bit. And yes, that is the top part of my wizard's tower. And of course we've got loads of scatter, which is actually the same as the dedicated scatter video. Got some chairs to go in there, and so all we need to do really is put this on top of the tower and build the roof. So if I just bring my tower back in, what's going to happen now is that when this is together and keyed together, you are going to want to put this on top, and rather than just rest it on top like we did with the watchtower, if you've seen that video or got that product, what we're doing with this one is we're adding a little hook to it on this side. And the reason that's there is because we want to be able to kind of pull the back of this off sometimes without having to lift the top of this off. So lining it up with the one that's got a hook in it here, we're going to line that up with this kind of long slot here, and we're going to hook it into place, and then these two bits here are going to fall onto the two tabs that are on the top of that. So I'm going to do that now. And there you go, I've popped that on top. You might have noticed here that actually the best way to get that tab in that first time, kind of lifted the top of this way to like kind of poke it through a little bit, and then I went down, popped it in, I located the two lugs in here, the little tabs, and then I kind of just pushed this in a little bit more just to give it a little bit firmer. And so now this is kind of like on top. Obviously you're not going to be turning your wizard's tower upside down, I hope, unless you employ some real magic, but yeah, so that is all on top, and it's nice and sturdy, you know, and it means this bridge here will take your minis and stuff like that because we've got some support now. It also means that if you wanted to get into your tower here, you can do it without having to remove the top now. So you do that, and what you'll do, you'll just pop this out a little bit, lift your tower, and do that. And now you've got access to this. And if you've got miniatures on this end piece here, this now won't tip this off a balance because it's hooked into place on this side. So yeah, that's a really great way of just keeping everything a little bit more game friendly, as it were. So again, I'm gonna lift the tower up a little bit, slot that back in there, and I'm gonna pop that here over the door, and I'm gonna turn it to the secret magic writing-y stuff for this particular occasion. Okay, so there we go. Oh god, I love that tower. That's looking really, really impressive. What haven't we done? We haven't done the roof on the top, and we've got a little balcony canopy thing to put on there. So I'm going to grab that canopy. It's here somewhere. I've seen it. I know it's here. There it is. So I'm just going to pop that out quickly and put it on. Couple of half cuts there, and it goes into these slots. There you go, that looks really cool now. And when you've got the roof on, you've got this like double sort of like matching colour, contrasty, looks really good. So we've got that on there, which is pretty good. Let's just go ahead and just build this roof so we can finish off the top of this tower. So what we're going to do next is this part here, which is two halves of the roof, two clips, and this little bit that goes on the top. Grabbing that. Okay, so here's your roof parts, two identical parts here, and your little pyramid-y bit that goes on top. Bend that through. And then you've got these two clips here, wooden bit facing underneath, and you're going to slot into these larger slots, not the small ones. And that is your main part of your Wizard's Tower roof. And just as it is, if you don't want the bit on the top, you can, and this is too tall now to see, so I'm just going to use this one. You can basically just stick that on like that. in itself, it looks really cool. And we have shown you in photographs at all when before when I've been messing about, is that this really does make, if you put like a lake tile here and some bush and blah, this makes a really nice kind of weird wizardy cabin as well. And I think it looks really cool if you then just remove that bit and just have it kind of like that. I really like that. I think that looks fantastic. And you don't have to have this top on your wizard's tower either. Yeah, so that's really cool. So I'll do that, move that over here. But let's talk about this bit that you put on the top. I'm going to bend this through. Now with this one, you want to kind of over bend everything and then really kind of squash it so you've got some nice flexibility there so it can kind of hold together. Because what you've got here, you haven't got a clip or anything, you've just got like a little area of tension, and that is going to just hold that in place. Now I think actually that's it, seems perfectly reasonable to me, but I think I've just put a bit of glue on that one for mine because it doesn't take much room, you know. I think that's what I did for mine, but that seems okay at the moment. And then what you'll do is you're going to kind of slot this into these two holes here. And they kind of also add a bit of tension, which keeps this closed as well. So between this and these two tension parts, you've got that there. And actually, this is really solid as far as I can tell. Give it a little bit of a squeeze, give it a manipulation. Yeah, this is pretty solid for me. So I'm quite happy with that. And then you literally just put that on top of your wizard's tower like that. And yeah, you can't see that, so I just need to kind of like, yeah, there it is. Okay, so we've got that over there, but that really is your kind of wizard's tower in its main kind of form. A complicated build, yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely stunning. I think this is a real big central battle piece on any table. Okay, so what haven't we done then? Because we've still got these big sheets over here. Oh, I'm running out of room. I've got wizard's towers everywhere. Okay, so on here we've got lots of different things. We've got little chairs and things, and there's enough chairs to kind of make, I think there's enough chairs for one under each torch in the top part of this, I think, or something like that. These are all on the dedicated scatter video, so I'm not going to show you how to put those together. You'll notice there's loads of books kicking around. I'll come to those in a minute. What we have got left is we've got this other section of the bridge and the tower. So I'm going to pop out all the parts for that. Okay, so you've got all your main parts of the ruined tower, and I'll grab one over here. You can see here that this is basically what we're going to make, which is really cool. And like I said before, that will line up with the other side of this part, your wizard's tower, and it will just look really cool. So let's put this together. Again, this goes together in a particular way. I just noticed I forgot to pop out some bits of my bridge here. Okay, so this goes together in a particular way, and you'll notice on these towers here that you've got some slot areas at the bottom. You've got slots facing up and slots facing down, and this is predominantly what's going to happen when you're kind of putting this together. Okay, and what you want to do, you want to get it so that you line it up to that you can get all your stairs in and everything else. So let's do that. Okay, and on here you've got some areas that need to be popped out, where you're going to connect some stairs in, so I'm going to do that as well. But you'll see on every wall, or most walls, you've got a little area that can be popped out as well. We're going to pop those out as we go, because one of the areas is not going to need to be popped out at all. And I think it's this one here, so that's cool. And I'm going to just go ahead and pop out the other two. Okay. So these two here with the spikes on. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this long one here that's got one spike on it here, and then I'm going to take this piece here with a kind of broken arch at the top, and I'm going to put those two bits together first. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that my that my tunnel piece here then goes on this side, so that I've got my two tunnels next to each other. And finally then I'm going to pop this piece on here. Okay, that's that. Little bit of movement here at the moment. That's fine. What we need to do, we need to be able to put this on top. Okay, and what we're going to do with that, we're going to kind of slot it into the top, and it is going to slot through this little hole at the back. There's a tab that we're going to put in there. There you go, that's that. That slot was a bit tight, but I've got it in there. Okay, now you've got this, no flex at all, and you've got that. So what's going to happen is your bridge is going to come out facing towards this broken arch, and where you've got this lip on here, your stairs are going to connect on. So let's have a look at the stairs first of all. Very simple, like many of our stairs. You're basically going to hook this onto here and then put all the slots in, all the steps in. You've got two slots here, and you're going to want to make sure that they go in first, and then you're going to kind of push this just across this tab. Like so. I probably should have adjusted those, they're a bit tight, but you know, I just go straight for it. And then I'm basically going to put one of these at the bottom and work my way up and down these steps. Like that. You will have a step left over because of the way we did the tooling, and you've got a few different types of texture on the steps here, so you can always make sure that you slot in two textures and not together, and you can turn it over or spin it round or whatever to get the right, so it doesn't look like any repeating patterns on there. I didn't bother to look for that, but it just looks brilliant anyway, so that's fine. And then last but not least, coming out of this way, we are going to want to do the same as the steps really, slots in at the bottom and then into the wall. There's a couple of holes there, and then the bridge part will slot in the front, and this bridge part does have a tab on it which is going to go in there. Okay, so I'll do that first. Okay, and there you have it. This is a really sturdy, nice piece of kind of ruined bridge part to go with your other part there. It does come with, somewhere on this big load of things, we've got some bridge scatter here, ruined tower it says, and you've got some bits and pieces, and these are just like extra planks from here, and when it's all up you can have these bits scattered around your battlefield, etc., just to make it look like the bridge has been ruined and fallen down there. Okay, so that's that. So you have got your wizard's tower, which doesn't fit in the camera, and you have got your other part of the bridge as well over here. You know, it could be a really small bridge, you know, that's just got a little ruined bit. You can have some, you know, jumping competitions, or it could be a really massively long bridge, which is just like, you know, magic. I don't know. So anyway, you've got those two bits over there. What we are gonna have a look at is a few things that are not on the dedicated video. Like I said many times, there are some things like I said many times, there are some books on here, and there are a lot of books of all different sizes. And you know, you just go around, pop all of these books off of here. We've also got these little tiny bowls here, okay, bit like the one, well, they're like the ones you get on like the table, and you've got a little pot, it says. These are tiny. I mean, we're really taking the mick with these little bits here, but these look really good because on your little wizard's book on your bookcase and on your little table, etc. If we look at this one here, what I've done is I've taken one of these little pot things, put a bit of penning around it, and I put it on there. It looks like a little inkwell or something. And on his little shelf here, I've got some books which I've just glued into place here. On the bookcase down here, get rid of this bit. I've got some of these little kind of these little bowl things on there, and it just really helps to break it up. I've then glued on I've glued on one of my books here. I've got some glued on piles of books around the bottom here as well, and that just looks really, really good. You'll probably also notice, so there's loads of books on here, probably more than you need, but that's good, better to have too many. And then what you have got here as well is you've got these two little round discs here. These little round discs are so that you can grab some of your books and the little wizardy sword thing you get on there. It looks like a normal sword from our other sets, but we've got some magic writing on it, so clearly it's a wizard's sword. And you can do things like this. You can make a little, I've got a little pile of books here that is mounted on this little stand, and you can have it like stone side or wood side up. I think stone side looks better because the stamp tool comes here and rounds them off a little bit better. And then you've got the wizard's sword with all the little bits in the books that I've put here, and you know, and so you can make a couple of little piles of books, and that way you can put them anywhere you want in your tower. A bit like a miniature stand, sort of a 25mm base, I guess, you know, and they could be a really good objective token or something like that. So that's really good. You're gonna that's gonna add some extra dimensions to any of your games, and I'll put those to one side. So what else have we got left on these sheets? We have got, I can spot a dais here. This is really good. So I'll pop this out. Okay, so the dais, really simple again. You've got a 2-slot part together, which goes like that. And then this is where you're going to need a little bit of glue. You're going to take water side up, okay, and you would literally just glue that on the top of there. Make sure that's on camera. You glue that on the top of there. Then you will take this part here, okay, and you can glue that on top of here like that, and then a little bit of glue, and you'll be able to glue that on top of there, and it makes this really nice little dais. And this is already a pretty big video, so to save time, I've got one here as well that I've done already. Straight from production, and I just put a bit of penning around it. So you can see here you've got this really nice little dais, so that's on there as well. Anything else that I can see on here? Let's have a look through here. Straight away I can see I've got my super wizard sword. Okay, I can't see anything else on those sheets other than lots of books and lots of chairs. It is possible I've missed something, but nothing that would you know, break your brain, as it were. There's my little wizard sword, that's really cool. There are some little things like these on here as well. We've got some cool little maps, some secret writing, a little kind of galactic map kind of thing, as it were. Maybe that's a course-based thing. And then what you can do with those is, if I grab here's one I did earlier, you can see here that I've literally just put my little 2 maps up on the wall on the inside of this. Once it's all assembled and you're happy that nothing's going to get in the way or slots or anything like that, I basically just put them up into the top there, you know, and I think that looks really good. So that in essence is your wizard's tower in all its glory, yeah, too big to get on the camera.